some things that are changing, right?
Of course.
FHA is supposedly coming out with a new mortgage.
I heard that.
Yeah, so, 40 years is a long time. Hell, well, God willing, I'll be here in 40 years.
Most people don't even stay in their homes 30 years.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so what does this new 40-year mortgage look like, and what person would it be good for? Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Backyard Gossip. My name is Maisha Fair, one of your co-hosts.
I'm Jeremy Rangel.
I'm Elias Black.
And we are Backyard Gossip. We are all real estate agents in the state of Arizona. We're excited to have you guys here. We're excited to be here. There's going to be so much information that we're going to talk about. Like, what are we talking about, Jer?
First of all, welcome to our first show because we're super excited about it. We are talking about anything and everything related to real estate, the good, the bad, the ugly, and we're going to spill all the tea about it.
It's going to be good. You guys are going to, this is raw. So this raw. So we're going to mess up. We're going to have fun. You're going to get some good real estate information, but
we're always real all the time.
Absolutely.
That is true.
100%.
That is very true.
And today, one of the things that we're going to do, so you guys know, we're going to be traveling all of Arizona. So you'll see different parts of Arizona. We'll be in different states from here. We'll take your recommendations on where you guys think we should go and what experts we should have on the show. It's going to be a ton of information, but today in sunny Arizona, we are in the city of Gilbert. This is where these two crazies live. They live here. I live like 45 minutes away. So it took me almost a damn hour to get here, but I'm here and I'm ready. But you guys, tell us about Gilbert. What is Gilbert about?
Sure. Gilbert is part of the Phoenix metro area, of course, as you may know. Some of you may not. But Phoenix is located in the southeast quadrant of the Phoenix metro area. So a lot of stuff going on. Gilbert has been in a number of magazines as a top place to live, according to many of the articles and things of that nature.
Why though? Like what in Gilbert makes Gilbert so fun to be, or a place to live? Like, why would somebody want to move here?
Yeah, so fun thing, I can't speak to what everyone else is doing because I just don't do that. That's not my tea, not my cup of tea, but I live here. We specifically live here because we're close to family. Family lives down the street, so it was a strategic move for us. But a lot of folks come out to Gilbert because Gilbert is, I don't want to say up and coming, but Gilbert, when I was a kid, I'm a native, I grew up here. Gilbert was a small farming town, if you will, and Gilbert is actually not even a city, it's a town, it's a township. So.
Okay, anything interesting, Jared, that somebody would do here if they moved?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like Gilbert is community-based, so there's a lot of family activities that happen. If you guys haven't been to Joe's Farm Grill, it's a great place to go take your kids. It's all fresh ingredients, and they actually have a farm that they pull the ingredients from to cook all their food.
Really?
Yeah, so that's really, really awesome. We also have Gilbert Regional Park, which hopefully there's talks right now that in a couple of years there's going to be like a 25-acre water park that is supposed to go into Gilbert Regional Park, which is just located on Queen Creek and Higley, down the street from us. So
yeah, how long does it take you guys to get, obviously you guys show a lot of houses, as do I. What is a drive like from Gilbert to get to Central Phoenix? What does it take to get there?
I'm going to answer your question, but I just want to go back to your Gilbert Regional Park in just a hot second, because I'm super excited about that. That thing, do you know about it?
No.
Gilbert Regional Park. So Gilbert Regional Park is a newer park that kind of came in around the COVID time frame. I don't know the exact date, so don't quote me. But 2021, and it's located in the southwest corner of Higley Road and Queen Creek Road. And it's a huge park that's going to cover, I don't know what the square footage is going to be, but it's rather large. But surf park, that cactus surf park that Jeremy was talking about, is going to be 25 acres. It was started, I think the town of Gilbert approved the project in 2021, but they've had some delays, and I read an article, I think from just a few days ago, that shared that there's some delays with the design. I think the contractor submitted some architectural stuff, and there was some delays with that, so it's going to be pushed out for quite a while. But I'm excited because it's really close by. Not excited for traffic or all that, but I think where I live, I'll avoid all the traffic because I don't go that way. But I'm excited because it's going to bring, it's going to bring additional revenue dollars into the town of Gilbert. There's just more stuff to do. Gilbert was kind of suburbia, when I was growing up, and Gilbert is just blossoming, has blossomed in the last 10 years.
That's awesome. So again, how long does it take to get to Phoenix?
Back to your question. Let me get to that. So great question, though. We do drive. So Jeremy and I work together.
Yeah.
He's my husband, y'all. So if you didn't know, Jeremy's my husband. Team Rango Black. It's our real estate side of the business, not affiliated with BYG. But we.
How long does it take to get to Phoenix?
Yes, I'm getting there. You're rushing me. We do service.
Girl.
So how long does it take to get to Phoenix? It takes about 15, 20 minutes right now without traffic. In traffic, it's about just shy of 30 minutes.
It also depends on how you drive too, because if you drive
coming.
like you have a lead foot, I'm not going to name any names, maybe 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you?
Versus I'm like a good 25 minutes.
All right, so it's not too bad. So Phoenix isn't too far away.
No,
not at all.
So what are we looking like in Gilbert? Like, what are average sales price in Gilbert? Like, what does that look like?
So like as of today, I looked this up a few hours ago, and as of today, at this moment, the median sales price in Gilbert is $650,000.
Oh, shoots, that's high.
Yeah.
Now let's just get a little bit more granular with that, because I always want to have, stats are great, but I always want to make sure my clients have full understanding of what that means. And so, pardon me, I had to take notes. But I did look up that statistic as well. I did see the same, and you're right, the median sales price is that. However, in English, to put that in English for like a home in Gilbert, a three-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet to 1,700 square foot home in Gilbert in the month of March, the average sales price was $486,847.
Okay.
Wow.
So a little bit less than what you said from the median
Right,
price.
Yeah.
right.
Understanding that median is all homes inclusive.
Right.
These are the more smaller homes that most people are buying.
Yeah, but that's the most
Okay.
common
Correct.
price point or
Absolutely.
square footage that most people want in a
Okay.
home, right?
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Some people want mansions, some people, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So all of
We've
that.
got the
yeah.
whole
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Of course.
But you guys love living here?
Love it.
Do you guys
Love
really?
it, love it, love it. Wouldn't
Well,
change it.
I know we're not as close to you anymore as in
I know.
location-wise, but
But I'm okay with that because I was about sick of y'all anyway. But that's all right. I'm joking.
I just saw
love
you.
it.
I just
love
saw
it.
you 2 days ago for lunch. So I
know.
mean,
I love you guys.
I still
She
see you,
lying.
But-
and we love you too.
Okay.
She ain't
I'm
lying.
glad you guys love me.
Well,
I hope you guys love me too. But
I can't with you.
Part is, I'm in my 40s, so if I was going to get an FHA loan right now,
how
I'd
old
be
are
like,
you? Just
Oh.
kidding.
not important
Just
at this
kidding.
time. I'm
Just
29,
kidding.
y'all.
Okay.
Y'all know.
No, okay,
Hello?
go
She
ahead.
tried to sneak that in.
I know.
She did. She called me on TV, y'all. Anyway, Nan gray hair.
Oh, you're such a liar. But go ahead.
Anyway,
ahead. All right,
yeah.
so-
So
She knows you.
What's the question? No.
No, but seriously,
Yeah,
really,
no.
really good
So
and bad of this.
you hit the
40
nail
years.
on the head. Seriously,
Yeah.
you hit the nail on the head. The bad part is if I'm in my 40s. If I was getting a home right now with a 40-year loan, I'd be like, oh, I might not make it to make my last payment.
Yeah.
But
Right.
realistically, right, being honest, God willing, hopefully I do, and anyone else. So that would be the bad part. It's a 40-year term. However, we've all heard that term, date the rate, marry the house kind of a thing.
Ooh, I like
so,
that.
right, it's a tool that we can, when and if this comes to fruition, this is a tool that will help lower your monthly payment, not the interest rate, but it lowers the payment to make the home more affordable.
And we'll get into the interest rate piece of
Yeah,
it, though.
I
but-
know.
So he's saying some positive.
Well,
what are you thinking? Any
I'm not-
negative that you can think? What are your thoughts?
I would think that it would be more positive than negative, but we just don't have all the details.
Correct.
There's not enough information out there for us to say like, hey, we think it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Because what if it just specifically only targets a certain group? that it would apply to. Let's say people were struggling because of COVID and, you know, we got out of that pandemic era. What if it's directed or geared towards those buyers that hit a little bit of hard times maybe? Or is it for all new buyers that are coming to the market? Is it a first-time home buyer program?
Keep in mind, right now, as of right now, this program is not out to the public. You can't purchase a new home with this new loan. However, there's some speculation right now swirling around that this is going to come to fruition in the May timeframe, I believe.
That's what I heard too.
However, it's my understanding that this product was originally conceptualized as a tool to help those who were hard hit by the pandemic, loss of job, shortening of hours, and things of that nature. And it was a tool that was to help those folks who were on the verge of losing their home.
And I think in that case, I think it's a great.
Yes,
right? But
absolutely.
I don't know if anybody wants a 40-year loan.
Well, I agree. Again, date the rate, marry the home. Now, if we take that and apply that to affordability and your ability to purchase a home, in my mind, it makes more sense. Hey, if I get this 40-year loan, I can afford this house that really checks all the boxes for me and everything that everyone who lives with me needs. Great, I can get it now with the 40-year loan. Or I can do the regular 30-year loan and I can't afford it. Well, so I'm going to have to rent or something other.
So I'm going to go kind of, I'm going to talk the negative part of it.
Sure.
And not that it's negative, because obviously it can be positive for some, negative for others.
Right.
But one of the things that you really have to consider is when you do a 40-year mortgage, we're talking you've added 10 more years of interest, right?
That is true.
So the interest that you've added to a home, I mean, you're paying a ton more of interest.
Yes.
So anybody who looks at their statement balance and like, okay, I got 30 years, dang it, that's a large amount of money that you'd be paying to the banks. However, I do believe right now with current rates, and we'll get into rates again, but with current rates on where they're at, this could be ideal. If it comes out and it's available to the average, you know what I mean, FHA buyer, I think it could be great, as you said, lowering the payment, because right now with interest rates as high as they are, with home values as high as they are, with the economy the way it is, that would be an ideal program for someone who is trying to minimize their monthly output, right?
Absolutely, so, but again, it's I think it's to be used right now in my mind's eye. I would say this would be a tool to be used for the short term. It lets you get into the home now. Then later, just like you would with an adjustable rate mortgage, later you refinance out of that when rates go down, still lowering your payment, and now you're out of the high interest rate product. And I think it's going to be a great tool for those who really need it.
But think about it. How many, and I know for me, even with my clients right now, with interest rates being high, I'm telling them, you know what I mean? This could be temporary. We don't know when rates will change, right? They can drop in 3 months. They can drop by the end of the year. If they're going to refi anyway, why would it matter if they refied from a 40, you know what I mean, to initially save?
That's true.
The other thing that people can do, and I don't know if a lot of people do this with the money they're saving, I mean, they say this is a great time to get in investing. So take some of the money that you're saving and invest it into some other things and do some other things with your money, right?
That's true.
So, I mean, there's some definitely pluses. I'm anxious to see when it comes out. And if, how many people jump on board. Do you know what I mean? But I think long term, I don't think anyone wants to sit in a 40-year mortgage.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No,
right?
No.
But, nobody does.
But I think it's going to be an extremely useful tool. I'm excited for the product to actually be rolled out, hopefully in May, according to the swirl, the buzz that's out there right now. But I'm excited to see what the details are when it's released.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that's going on with rates, because we kind of had a little conversation. Obviously, there's some people who bought their homes, even a year ago, 2 years ago. Rates were a lot different than they are now. Do you know what I mean? So affordability for clients, and what does that look like? Because I know, I have a 28-year-old son, and he owns his first home. Thank goodness he has such a great rate, and his mortgage payment is very inexpensive, and I love it for him. But that's not the case for everyone right now, because I'm wondering how these young people are getting into these $500,000 homes, because if you're looking at a median sales price of almost $500,000 in even Gilbert, those payments are crazy, right? Do you know what I mean?
Insane.
Because their salaries haven't gone up to match what these rates are. So what are people doing? What have you guys seen out in the market that people are doing creatively with, buying homes with these high interest rates? What's happening?
So just to kind of expand on that just a little bit. So I had a client that I was working with, and she was looking to buy in like the 400 range, and she didn't want to spend anything beyond like 410. Like that was her max budget. That's what she was comfortable at, 410.
Where was she buying? What area? Just curious.
Glendale,
Okay.
Arizona.
Okay.
So she was out there. We found a perfect home. It was great. Awesome. Okay, so the home was beautiful, so we had to be a little bit more competitive. So 410 wasn't going to cut it, which was the list price, right?
But that was her max.
That was her max, right? So I sent out payment estimates to the lender, and I said, hey, what does it look like for 410? Okay, cool. He sent them. Great. And then I was like, to compete, client, we're going to have to come up a little bit. So maybe come up to 420, more 425, you know. And she was like, nope, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And I said, let's just get payment estimates. So we got payment estimates from the lender. The payment difference was only like $60 between 410 and 420.
How much higher were you going up?
We went to 425.
Okay.
So she looked at it. She got the payment estimate. She's like, oh, I can do this. I didn't even know. And I was like, ugh. But her rent was more than her mortgage payment was going to be just by jumping up by $60.
Now let me ask this. So in a scenario like that, say for instance she was really stuck at 410, is there something that we can do with the seller? Will sellers buy down the rate? What's happening in the market with that? Have you guys seen? I know for me, I've used that right now because, I mean, what do you guys think we're in? We're in seller's market or buyer's market? And what does that look like? And can the sellers contribute to that and help with these rates?
Well, I feel like we're in a more, it's the market has turned, as we all know. I think it's turned more into a balanced market in the last few months. However, I think it's starting to slowly shift back into a seller's market. I don't think we have enough data yet just to put a...
Are you referring to just Gilbert or Metro?
The Phoenix metro area as a whole.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I think certain areas are leaning towards seller's market again.
Yeah.
But some parts of the valley, I think, are still buyer's markets.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There's always pockets. I would
Right.
agree.
Yeah.
I would
Right.
agree with
Yeah.
that. 100%.
Okay.
However, I think it's to be creative. How can we combat the high interest rates that we're all facing right now?
Because rates are crazy. But just real quick though, I can tell you guys when I first bought my first house.
I was just going to ask
my
you.
interest
I was like,
rate,
is the interest rate really that crazy?
Oh my flipping goodness.
Yeah,
Oh
I know.
My interest rate was 8.5%, and I didn't blink at that because that's what rates
It
were,
was the
right?
norm.
So people
Okay.
got accustomed to these damn 3.5% rates and thinking that's where they need to be, and who knows if we'll ever get there. So what do we do right now as agents?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Let's just because I think this is useful for people to understand and to
Right.
hear. So before I was an agent, you were my agent on one.
I was?
You were a
Just kidding.
home that I bought in Avondale, Arizona.
Just kidding.
But at that time, I think my interest rate was 6.875, and I was scoffing. In 2008, my interest rate was 6.875, and that was a good rate, which is
Yeah.
higher than today's rate. So I just want folks to understand, that was 2008, whatever the math is on that from 2023.
So we're normalizing the interest rate right now. Because
No,
it's pretty
that's
normal.
not it. No, at the end of the day,
No, I
But
just-
when is a rate ever normal, right?
right?
Because shit
we
fluctuates
all
up
But
and
it
down.
and we
fluctuates.
all always want it lower.
But,
However,
but we're not panicking the consumer out there and saying like, oh my gosh, this rate is astronomical.
And that's what I'm saying.
I feel like there's a lot of
I don't
panic.
think you have to because
trying to-
there's enough tools out there, and with market performance right now, I have a client right now who, truth be told, they probably didn't need help with lowering the interest rate, but they wanted one. As they should. I would want one too. And so what we were able to negotiate was $16,000 seller concessions that the buyers had the resources to pay for their own closing costs, but they were able to use the 16 grand to help buy down the interest rate.
So just to make this easy for everyone to understand,
Sure.
When you say seller concessions, what does
Yes.
that mean to the consumer out there when you're saying the seller's giving concessions? What is that?
Yep. So in Arizona, when we write an offer, the buyer can put whatever terms in the contract they want.
Okay.
Specifically, seller concessions. What it means is seller concessions are seller paid closing costs that are applied towards the buyer's closing costs. So in this case, we were able to get the seller to contribute $16,000 that could be or would be applied towards the buyer's closing cost. And we had language in the contract that said that the buyer could use those funds any way the buyer chooses,
And
as
buying down
allowed
the rate
by
is
the
an
lenders.
option.
Correct.
Okay.
Which ultimately the buyer used to buy down or pay for a lower interest rate, basically.
So Jeremy, what have you seen? Like, are you using that strategy in some of your stuff too?
So I am. I'm doing exactly that. So we just submitted an offer a couple of days ago, and we asked for too much concessions.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys get the?
We asked for
House?
10,000,
Uh-huh.
and they accepted our offer.
Okay.
But the lender came back and said, "Hey, we can't use all of this 10,000 because we're only allowed to use 3% of concessions, based on their type of loan that they got."
Were they able to use it for anything else, like home warranty, anything? Could that funds be?
No.
Could those funds be
What we
used
ended
for
up doing
anything?
was reducing the purchase price. So instead of, we could use 9,000 of it, 1,000. We just reduced from the purchase price.
Okay.
Oh, so you guys did like an addendum to the contract to lower the price by $1,000 from
Correct.
the current price?
Correct.
Okay.
But we're still using all of the concessions that were given because that's what they agreed to in the
Could
contract.
they have utilized it for an additional year of warranty, or
They could have.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was just.
But that's
the
what
route
they
that
chose. Yeah.
Okay.
To go the price reduction route versus additional home warranties.
What are sellers thinking about that? Do you think right now? I mean, how do you think? Because keep in mind, I mean, a year and a half ago, we were in multiple offer situations. Sellers were staying in their homes for free for months, right?
Yeah.
They were staying and they're like, we're not leaving. We want to stay here. And now, I mean, it's almost like sellers are like, please buy my home, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
is it that? Do you know what I mean? And does that make it a lot easier to get the seller to contribute to the buyer's concessions because of
It
that?
does. So there's two things with that. One, I think,
it depends.
last year, a year ago, and during the pandemic, homes were flying off the market. So if it hit the
Right.
market today, it was gone tomorrow or within 2 or 3 days at
Right.
max, for the most part.
Were rates still high then?
No, rates were lower. Rates were lower. I mean, they weren't
A year ago?
3%. A year ago?
Yeah. They were lower.
Yeah, they were lower. They're
Yeah.
much lower than the six.
They were inching towards like the.
Much lower than the 6.39% that we were as of.
They were inching towards like
Sorry.
the 5% era.
Correct.
A year ago. Yeah.
Correct. But I showed a home. just yesterday. This home's been on the market. It's a home on acre and a half.
Okay.
Out in Santan Valley. The home's been on the market over 300 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, and the agent, having a conversation with the agent, just talking about what the seller was looking for in terms of an offer, the agent shared with me, probably shouldn't have shared with me, but he gave it to me, and of course I shared with my client.
No, he should share it with you. Actually.
Well,
You've been on the market for 300 days. You better share as
No,
much
I
as you
agree. I mean, that's public
Yeah.
information. But what he did share with me, good point. But what he did share with me was that he's like, hey, 8 months ago, my seller received some offers. They were just slightly under the list price, but the market had just started changing. And so he just felt like it was still the old market. And he was like, I'm not giving anything. I want the list price or more. I'm not taking anything less. He declined all of those offers. And now then the market continued to shift. And now we are where we are. And he just had received, before we had come to the property yesterday, I think last week he received an offer, or they received an offer that was just shy of the list price, but that particular buyer was asking for $20,000 in seller concessions. And the agent shared with me, hey, that particular buyer and seller couldn't come to terms, unfortunately. However, had that buyer been a little bit more flexible, the seller would have done $15,000 in concessions. So what I'm saying here is, 8 months ago, the seller wouldn't take an offer that was, I don't know, let's just call it $5,000 under the list price, but no seller concessions. And now he's trying to give this house away. He's done price reductions. They basically said, hey, if you give us a list price offer, we'll give you 15 grand in concessions.
Yeah.
Today.
And I think that's part of educating the seller. If you're a listing agent and you're not providing proof or showing them like, hey, the market has shifted. Like, you can no longer expect to sing Rihanna's
I can't see.
BBHM. You can't say that anymore, right? Like the sellers just can't expect all kinds of handouts, right? So I think it's the listing agent's responsibility to say like, hey, this is what's actually happening in the market. You need to be realistic and know like buyers are going to come in, they're going to ask you for concessions. They may ask for a price reduction. Like, be realistic and upfront with your client.
I'm still stuck on the song. I'm sorry.
You
It's
know, at
playing
the
in my head. B better have my Anyway, I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Because sellers were singing that, right? Like
Yeah.
2 years ago, they were like,
not even 2 years ago, but
right.
yes, you're absolutely right.
Like, they just, whatever.
The seller could ask for the highest. I mean, let's just to put a number on it.
They didn't even have to ask for it.
The highest. I mean,
did you guys see that stupid little meme that was going around, and it said, like, I'm calling it a meme because you guys know I don't know this terminology, but where it said at the end of the day, the person said, "Here's my blank contract, since you know what I mean. Just tell us what the seller wants and fill it in. Do you know what I mean? Like,
tell us what you want and we'll give it to you.
Yeah, tell us what you want, we'll give it to you. Obviously, that's changed, especially
No
with the
offense to
rates.
those buyers that bought in that era, because you had to give up everything.
No, but I still don't think that was a crazy time to buy, because really at the end of I don't
That's
think
true.
regardless, interest rates, home prices, at the end of the day, buying a house, if you can afford it and it's a house you love, you get in it. That's what I tell my clients.
Yeah, if you love it, you love it.
You love it, you love it. You stay in that home, because even when the market crashed in 08, keep in mind I was licensed during that time.
I know, you sold me my house. 6875. Just want you to know.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Today's rate is 6.39. You're welcome.
Oh my God.
But at the end of the day, think about it. I mean, it doesn't matter. A home is an investment, right? And
course.
then it can go down and it comes back up, because people that
It does.
bought in 08 still they have money now, right?
Correct.
Their house has value. But what do you tell a client with these crazy rates right now, right? What do you tell them? Is it still a good time to buy?
I am so sorry. Look, I
Just
told
so
you
you
guys.
guys know, we're gonna, if we have to take calls, our clients come first. So if we have to take calls, we will.
That's
so
true.
If you have to take a call, take it, because
It's an appraiser. It can wait. I will call them back.
All right.
Okay.
But what are we telling people? Do you know what I mean? I can tell you what I tell people. I think any time is a good time to buy it if the house is
Absolutely.
right for you, right? If the house is right for you. But with rates as high as they are, and I know for a while, you know, I even went through a piece to where I was like, okay, the market's changed for me a little bit. My buyers aren't out there the same way they used to be, because they were afraid of these interest rates. But none of it's changed, right? So
Nope.
what are you guys telling people? Like, is it still a good time to buy with rates where they are? Well, even too with the economy and the way they're saying things are going to crash, which I don't believe in any of that, but do you know what I mean?
I mean, they've been saying that. I mean, I've been licensed
years.
for 7 years as a real estate agent. They've been saying the market's going to crash since the day I got licensed,
Yeah.
and it hasn't crashed.
And they said it was going to crash in 2020, and look what
And
happened
we're
in
still
2020.
here.
So-
And
Yeah. But
and-
rates, is it still a good time for a buyer to buy with rates the way they are
Absolutely.
right now?
I think I think I agree with you. Any time is the right time to buy with the real estate, because it's something that grows. It's an investment. It's going to naturally grow. It may lose some value a couple of years, but it's going to inflate again. And
it's a long-term investment.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a long-term investment, and it's you're not buying a home for a short-term investment. Your ROI is in the long term. I agree 100%.
And a couple of years ago, great, your interest rate was lower, but you were having to pay your down payment plus closing costs plus your home inspection.
And sellers are paying that now?
Sellers
all day
are-
long.
Like, who's paying? Yeah, they are? I
So-
mean, like, are we really seeing people
So-
do that much happening?
Yeah, so
Because-
like a buyer now can just come in with their down payment and ask the seller to pay for your closing costs, and all you're coming in is
So let's
You're
just say I'm a buyer and I find a house that I want. Interest rates right now are a little over 6. Are they still over 6-ish right now?
6.39% as
Okay.
of April 7th.
Okay. Well, you guys see, he's the numbers guy.
he is the numbers guy.
Yeah, I call my
Hands
lender.
down.
But so interest rates are there, right? So what are we seeing if a seller's going to buy down an interest rate for someone or contribute to the buy down of an interest rate? What does that, like, what are we seeing the rates getting bought down to? Do you know what I mean? So, like, what are they buying the rates down to? Do you know what I mean? To get, like, what are you guys seeing?
It's depending on cost. You know, it's how much. So there's a number of factors that go into it, and I think a lot of folks have to really, you know, buying your interest rate down is a great tool to help lower your payment and of course lower the interest rate. However, there comes a point where, you know, how much do you want to put into it? Because you could put in 60 grand to buy down your interest rate, but then does that really make sense, really, right? So on average, I would say what we're seeing for the most part, tell me if you disagree or agree, I think most of our clients are using somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 8 grand
to buy down
the interest rate, and they're getting, you know, I don't know, I'd probably say half.
So basically,
Half
those
point.
people who are on the fence thinking rates are too high, there's still ways to get these rates lower.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So And if you work with the right agent, you can
And
get
the right lender.
And the right lender.
Okay.
Let's be clear about
Well,
that.
that's a collaboration, right? So
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Getting that person or getting the right person that can help you through that process, right, can help you still lower your rate. So
Yep.
I guess it doesn't even matter really when you think about it that rates are higher if you could get a seller to contribute to that, right?
Right,
So
right.
I
I mean,
agree.
they can end up having a lower payment.
Yeah, if
anyway.
consumers stop listening to these social media
People.
influencers, shade, no shade.
Present company excluded. Of course.
Shade, no shade. They
a
would
little
know
shady.
Did you
these.
say shade, no shade?
He did,
Oh
and
my
it's a little
God.
shady.
They
Just
would
a little
know,
shady.
like there's different options out there, but they're utilizing one platform to gain knowledge, and it's not useful to them in the way that they think it is. So they really need to sit down with real agents who are in the field, who are actually doing the work, who know these different options, like Elias Black, Maisha Fair, and Jeremy Rangel.
Backyard gossip, Pete. And who can, by the way, help you find an agent and a lender in Arizona. Or if you're looking for someone in another state, we have agents located in other states who can help
Everywhere.
you.
Boop.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep,
Yeah.
who can help you accomplish your real estate homes, goals, and dreams.
That's right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well,
But a side note, what we should do is invite a lender to come on the show
Oh, I love it.
and to kind of just chat about what it looks like and provide him like different scenarios, because a lot of times people go on and they talk about like, oh, the interest rate is this and this is what your payment's going to be.
Yeah.
But like, let's give him some homes so he can run some like payment estimates. He or
oh,
she.
that's a good idea.
I love it.
Because
yeah.
that way that gives them a true idea of like, oh, I can afford that or not afford that. And I think that's what people need.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too that I tell my clients all the time too is, guys, it's people tell me, I want a $500,000 home. Well, that's what but okay, let's talk payment. Really, let's get comfortable with what your payment's going to be, and you know what I mean, because that rate plays a factor in what that payment's going to be, and let's get comfortable with that, and then we can decide on what home you can buy for that value, right?
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
rates are going to be rates. They go up, they go down. Values go up and go down, although we don't see them go like drastically down except in '08. But do you know what I mean? But we don't see, prices changing crazy,
Yeah.
home prices or home values changing really
Yeah.
crazy. But I'm really happy that we got to do this, and I'm
Absolutely.
super excited, you guys, for this new program, and I hope it comes out only because, like I said, I think it's going to bring value to a lot of people, because with the way the market is changing and values the way they're going in the economy, I think it's going to be a benefit for some people who otherwise can afford it. Because like I said, I look at my son and think, how are his friends affording these
Right.
$2,800 mortgage payments?
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you know what I mean? And how comfortable could you be? But we're so excited that you guys came along with us for this show. We're so excited about our next show and what's to
Yes.
come. We're going to be talking about so much and in backyards. And if there's a place that you guys want us to go, or if there's something that you guys want to know about us individually, or you want us to help you buy a house in Arizona, we're here. We're excited. We're all licensed. We
Yes.
will have another licensee joining us
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Soon.
So we'll bring him
Soon.
on the show and we'll talk about that. And I'm excited because he happens to be my son, but and hopefully my daughter too. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see about Ray.
Come on, Ray. Come on, Ray.
But there's going to be so much that we're going to talk about, and it's going to be funny, and it's going to be real and raw and everything that we are. And we hope you guys enjoy it and
Come along for the ride.
come along for the ride.
See
to
the
our
people that we
next-
put on the
Yes.
show. We're gonna, like she said, we're gonna talk about everything, and we want you to subscribe, like, follow, comment, so that we know what you guys want to talk about or what you guys want to hear, and we'll try to get it on the show, and we'll make it happen.
And DM us if you're looking to buy in Arizona right now. DM us if you're looking for another agent. We will definitely get you in contact with a person.
Right.
And
And side note, if you work with Jeremy, Maisha, and Elias, we are like a team, if you will.
Yes.
The good thing about us is that when you call us and you text us, you're actually calling and texting.
Absolutely.
Us. Not
will get us.
Yeah, you're not going to get
Not an assistant.
Not-
it'll
right.
Joe,
be-
John, Mary, and everyone
Right.
else.
Yes.
Not a
And that-
transaction coordinator
yeah,
trying to
no.
run their business.
None of that.
Yes. You
Side
will
note.
get us. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
And I will say this, while this wasn't a good example, but I do answer every single phone call because we're shooting.
Except when it's an appraisal.
No. We've spoken several times, so it's not. I'm aware it's not
We're giving
urgent.
you a hard time.
I know, but I
He's
do ask
so
everyone.
serious, guys.
Everyone
He's
knows I answer every
serious.
single call, so I'm not worried. Even the ones who call me at midnight, I still appreciate it. I will answer
I'm
the
not
call.
answering at midnight, just so y'all know. He may answer at midnight.
I'm not welcoming the like, hey, come on, call me at midnight. Just saying I will.
Return the call in the morning, but you will reach me, and I will answer my phone. Not at midnight.
So, if
that's
you
him.
or someone you know is looking to buy or sell in Arizona or anywhere else in the country, let us know. If you're not in Arizona or not looking to buy or sell in Arizona, we have agents that we can refer you to who are quality agents and who have your best interest at heart.
All over the nation.
Yes.
All over. So, catch us on the next time. We'll probably have drinks with us, not that kind of drinks.
And I think we'll be in my backyard, maybe.
Ooh, I'm looking for it.
see.
Maybe,
Ooh,
yeah.
That's a
yeah.
fancy backyard.
We're
I can't
gonna
wait to
switch
see
it up. We're gonna drive an hour to you, I guess.
I guess.
I can't wait to see it. But so when we're having drinks at in Maisha's backyard in her lovely new pool, and
It's not new,
well,
but
your
yeah.
not the pool, but you did some construction,
Yeah, we
remodeling
did.
out back. I'm anxious to see it,
Okay.
the finished product. I'm sure you're gonna have some drinks for us.
I will.
Perfect. So all of you get the tea on the next BYG. That's Backyard
Yes.
Gossip, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next
Bye,
time.
guys.
Bye, guys.